Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on when you're watching or listening to United Soccer FC this week in NWSL Challenge Cup. Taking a look at the action, really kind of, the last rounds of the 4 and 5 of it here, which has set up a great final that'll be airing on CBS next, let's see, what day was that? Next Saturday, May 8th on CBS, the big channel at noon here. But before we get to that, let's take a look at last week's action here. Starting on April 26th, you had Racing Louisville 2, North Carolina Courage 3 at Lynn Family Stadium. Cecilia Kaiser got Louisville on the board first. Hamilton for the Courage answered in the 33rd. Dabinya in the 57th minute to give them a 2-1 lead. In the 75th minute, Racing Louisville came back with a goal by Jorian Belcom to tie it up. And then, unfortunately, an own goal in the 84th minute scored by Racing Louisville's Julia Ashley to give the Courage a 3-2 win over Racing Louisville. But it was a very entertaining match to be able to watch. In the second match there on April 26th, you had Kansas City host Houston Dash. Houston got out to a 3-0 win, 3-0 lead before Kansas City answered. Christine Lewis scored in the 25th. Rachel Daly scored on a PK in the 45th, and then Muse got her brace in the 71st. Michelle Vasconcelos answered in the 77th minute, to put one on the board for Kansas City, but unfortunately that was, that was all that there was. On the 27th, Washington Spirit 0-0 versus Gotham City. For that here, no goal scored. So, like I said, it was an entertaining match to watch. Just the finishing, unfortunately, was not there. In the nightcap on the 27th, you had OL Reign get a 3-2 win over Chicago Red Stars. Chicago actually opened up the scoring in the 38th minute with a goal by Mallory Pugh. OL Reign got goals answered back in the 41st with Sylvia Hireta. And in the 70th minute, Leah Pruitt gave OL Reign the lead. And then in the 87th minute, it got, they put the game away with a goal from Taziria King, 3-1 for there here. Now, the Red Stars did pull one back in the 90th minute by a goal by Morgan Gernot on there here to make it a 3-2 final. The next two matches, May 1st, North Carolina Courage, Orlando Pride, 0-0, Gotham City, Racing Louisville. A close, 0-0 game. There was opportunities for scoring. Unfortunately, they didn't get didn't get to convert the chances. May 2nd, Houston and Thorns played a really good match. I thought Houston was going to be able to pull it out because they got the goal from Shea Groom right before half. Was actually in stoppage time to go into the half up 1. But, Portland Thorns, being the class that they are, Christine Sinclair answered in the 77th minute, and that's how it ended. And then in the last match of the group action, Kansas City lost 2-1 to OL Reign. Kansas City actually scored first in the 6th minute, goal by Weber. 34th minute, Jessica Fishlock scored on a PK, and Cecilia Jimenez scored in the 84th minute. So what does that take us to? So looking at the standings here, you got New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, 8 points. Everybody's played their 4 games. 2 wins, 2 draws. For here, Courage finished 1 point back in 7th. Pride, Washington, and Racing Louisville ended up with 2 points. On the West, Houston did stop Portland from sweeping all 4 of the matches by being able to pull out a draw. But they do finish as the top point getter in the Challenge Cup. with 10 points. Oil Rain ended up finishing second. The Dash at 6, followed by the Red Stars in Kansas City with 2 and 1 points here. So what does that mean going forward? As we discussed here earlier, May 8th on CBS, New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC will play Portland Thorns FC for the title of the Challenge Cup, which, of course, Houston Dash won last year. Also to note, May 15th, so not necessarily this upcoming week, but NWSL returns, with their 2021 season, with Racing Louisville kicking off against Kansas City at home. New York, New Jersey, Gotham hosting Houston Dash, and Oil Rain hosting North Carolina Courage, and the Pride of Orlando hosting Washington Spirit on May 16th at 5 o'clock. As of yet, they haven't determined what games are going to be where. Generally, you can catch most of them on Paramount Plus, but there might be a few on CBS Sports Network or maybe even CBS directly here. But as of yet, they have not announced those as of yet here for that here. So thank you for tuning in to This Week in NWSL. Hope everybody turns into the final of the Challenge Cup on May 8th on CBS, for that here. Hope you have a great day, and thank you for tuning in and either watching or listening on your favorite podcast of choice.